The American flag. The Statue of Liberty. The Lincoln Memorial. And of course, Harborough Auto. The Dynasty Podcast is brought to you by Harborough Auto. Winner of the 2014 Dealer of the Year Award, Harborough Auto has a glorious inventory of certified pre-owned cars and trucks. Stop dicking around. Do your duty as an American citizen and check out Harborough Auto today.
It's time to get things started on the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, situational. This is what we call the Dynasty Podcast.
Back for our fourth season. Welcome to episode numero one of our mock draft special of the Dynasty Podcast. Of course, brought to you by Harborough Auto, bub. Harborough.
Someone say numero uno.
I'm Commissioner Eric Costanza.
Oh, I'm Bub Palooja. Yeah.
Bub, express to me in song how excited you are to kick off this season.
Well, it's like my grandfather always used to sing to me when I was a wee little chap. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Because that's what I'm going to be this year.
Oh,
a star.
A star. This is definitely a different season for you than last.
Oh,
Let's
ready.
face it, you did a great job, of course, co-hosting with me last year.
Thank
but
you.
Your heart wasn't in it for obvious reasons.
Of course.
This year, you're a different man, aren't you?
Oh, don't stand on the tracks when the train's coming through. Choo-choo!
Now, Bub, what are your thoughts and highlights of the Keeper Selection Show? I actually got a lot of feedback from a lot of folks out there. Thank you for that. What'd you feel?
The one thing that comes to mind was, which always happens, is John's interview. Just him in general. Mm-hmm. The vanishing act that he pulled. Mm-hmm. And also his... I think the hardest I laughed was when he said the three things you don't know about me, and he said the skin wings. that got me. He said wings, and he goes skin wings. That really got me.
I don't know if you saw at the end. I didn't really have a lot of bloopers this year, but that was one of them. That was the second take.
You laughed, right?
I laughed, and I could not. I was biting my tongue and my lip, and I could not hold it in.
He's something else.
He's something else. I got a lot of folks liking what happened in your interview with Chris. And that was a legit, like, and that was not acting by you.
Being there and living that, and then watching it on the show, I can't believe it. Like, I tried to put myself in your guys' shoes,
right?
And I could, like, it was just utter disbelief.
Right. Well, we have many things that we're going to do here on this show, highlighted by, of course, one of our favorite things to do all season, Bob. And then it's really all downhill from there.
Yeah.
And that is mock drafting and predicting the second round of the draft, of course, the first round of the keepers. We're going to have our first ever Dynasty Ozzmaker segment on this show. But since this is our kickoff show for D11, let's recap real quick just some of the changes that are occurring here for this season to start off. I know a lot of this was highlighted in the Gazette, so we're not going to go into great detail, but I do think it's important just to quickly rehash a couple of things here. Let's start with this very show, the Dynasty Podcast. There's a couple of changes, upgrades, if you will, that are going to be occurring here. One of which being, Bub, you're actually not going to be co-hosting every show. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
I'm a busy man, Eric, and
Yes.
I'm getting married next year.
Yes.
And I can't make it work, unfortunately.
Right.
But I'll be in and out.
Completely understandable, obviously. You're going to be, in most of the shows.
Oh, I'll be in a lot.
But not every single one. We do have a bunch of folks that have already signed on to help co-host this year.
Oh, thank you, folks.
Yeah, which will be fun, of course. Gonna kind of change it up a little bit.
Yeah. Keep the body guessing,
Exactly. You juke and then they jeek.
Jive.
Jive
is normally the
The
correct
terminology.
Yeah.
As we all know, I'm not perfect at English.
No.
I minored in English at Assumption College.
didn't.
I minored in English at Assumption College. I did. We are not going to have a coach's interview at every show, and it is going to be set up a little bit different. It's not going to be like scheduled, like, hey, Will, you're on week 12, no matter what. Like, what are we going to do? We're basically going to kind of wing it, and whatever we think is important, if it's important
I
enough
like
to
that.
talk to somebody, then we will.
There's no reason to interview you, let's say,
Yeah.
in week 12 if you're 0, or if you're like 3 and
Right. 6
9
or something.
what-
Sure. Yeah. That's a change. And then, but something that you kind of brought up, the call out. So can you explain that to us and me? Because I'm still a little.
Yeah, no, kind of similar to what you were just saying about, not as scheduled. If let's say Ben and Jay Young are playing, they don't have a lot of history. They aren't mortal enemies like let's say Phil and I are,
Sure.
or you and I. So it's kind of hard to muster up some anger and,
Right.
and call them out and make fun of them when
There's really
there's nothing
none
to
there.
yeah,
Right? It's kind of forced.
You're
Sure.
friends, so like you said, kind of unscheduled. So let's say Jay Young is playing, and Brian just really has something to say because Jay Young and Brian's mom got it on or something. It's just like maybe he'll call him out.
Right.
So it's a little up in the air. We'll see how it works. I'll be trying to kind of spearhead that and
Okay.
get
that.
everyone involved if possible. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay. And then, of course, as always, we have a couple of new segments here for this season. We're going to have our normal, shenanigans, obviously, take place.
Of course.
But in addition to that, as I mentioned before, we're going to have a new odds maker segment.
Yep.
We'll talk more about that later, maybe
Yep.
during that segment.
I bet we will.
Get it? Bet with odds makers? I get it. Bub, you're funny.
I know.
And clever. And sexual today. We're going to have a little segment called Lisa's Lessons. This actually was Coach Matt Whitten's idea. He came over, I think, last season, and we were discussing it. Bob, are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, continue.
And it was, talked about in the Gazette, but basically she has the floor at any point to tell us
excited.
anything she wants.
I can't wait for that.
And then also we're gonna, kind of do your Bubba's Bowl predictions every show.
I got a few already.
It's gonna be more of a formal segment. It's not gonna be kind of just winging it. Where
I like it.
Last year that really took off for the reasons because you sucked at it.
I was not very good.
No, you were
until
not.
the one that I needed to be, the reverse psychology one of Phil.
And it was a reverse of a reverse, and I still don't really.
I think it worked. I can't even remember.
I don't know if it didn't work, which made it work, or it worked.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
So these are all changes to this show. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the changes here in the actual league. One of the main concepts going into this season, and it was discussed during the offseason, is the trim the fat theory.
Yes.
And talked about it in the Gazette, but Bub, quickly, what is that? Tell us what that is.
I think at some point the Dynasty became almost too much. We tried to implement a lot of, this is a good idea, let's do this, and this is a good idea, and they're all good ideas, but altogether it just kind of crowds it a little bit. So I think we tried to kind of eliminate some of the things that weren't really, I don't want to say necessary or important, but just weren't as good.
Nice.
Air quotes.
Nicely said.
Yeah,
nicely
weren't as
said.
good as the others, and really let's focus on the
things that we
main ones.
really, right. The pick-em, the coaching achievement points, having weekly podcasts versus maybe every other week.
Yep. Keep it fresh, keep the body guessing,
Exactly. Reducing some of the power rankings, write-ups, removal of some trophies, basically all of them besides the championship trophy. So those are just some ideas, some things that are kind of being pushed back and eliminated, if you will. So absolutely something that we will do, and addition from subtraction, right?
Ooh, I like that.
We got some new Dynasty board member voting that was again explained in the Gazette every year. For obvious reasons, Bub and I will be in the board members, and then we will have 2 other members who can join us, and the league will basically just vote on who that shall be in each league ballot.
Yep.
So, and then another new feature here this season. We'll see what happens with his new gambling feature that Coach Phil is going to be spearheading. I'm sure he'll be, I don't know, at some point before the season starts or once the season starts, I'm not sure. He'll be sending out, I assume, an email of some sort, letting us all know what we can do, how that works. So look out for that.
Bet on me this year.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
Yeah,
just a little tip for you. I'm not the odds makers, but
you're starting to get a little. Are you getting a little flavor of cockiness here?
I'm
You didn't learn from Zach last year?
I'm so excited.
You are excited, but careful with the excitement
You're right.
versus the...
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Over-
I'm looking out for
over
you.
aggressiveness.
I don't want the people to turn on you, Bub.
You're
Because right now you're pretty, beloved within the league.
Yeah.
The field goal scoring, Bub, has changed this year.
Oh, yes it has.
I'm sure you can look at the Gazette for that, but it's just slightly tweaked. And then we got a new CBS homepage. Have you looked at it, and what are your thoughts?
I was not a fan at first. I guess I'm getting used to it, just like I knew I would, but
Yeah.
I preferred the old version.
That's exactly how I feel. As I continue to use it, I hate it less, but I still don't really like it.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And Coach Matt Whiffen, our reigning Dynasty champion, believe it or not, he is going to be joining the Dynasty Trading Committee as a reserve member. Basically, whenever a trade involving one of us, me, you, and Phil, Matt will kind of step in and be like the third guy and assist with basically approving the trade.
That was his idea. He stepped up to the plate.
Look at that.
Well done.
He put on his batting gloves. He said, "Coach, put me in."
Put me in, Coach. I'm ready to play.
Disclaimer. The thoughts and opinions of the two cocksuckers you are about to hear come from the mouths of two individuals who have never won a championship in 17 combined seasons. Please feel free to take their opinions and shove them up their dumb asses.
All right, Bob. It's time.
It's time?
It's time. Let's do this.
All right.
Suggested by Coach Johnny C. to have a little bit of background music here.
I like it.
Thank you, Johnny C. 2 years ago, Bub, when we first started mock drafting, we did a great job accurately predicting
7 out of 12?
something like that.
I think it was 7 out of 12.
Yeah. Last year, we kind of regressed a tad. We got a bunch wrong, more wrong than right. However,
all it takes is one. One is a domino effect.
Exactly. And whether we're correct or not, I do believe that this may greatly help everyone kind of get a good gauge of what may occur, at least in the second round of the draft. And a couple people told me that last year, like, hey, obviously, not only was the show great, but your mock draft, like, it helped me prepare, for what may happen. So hopefully, we're kind of bringing some
shedding some light,
exactly,
if you will.
Fun fact, my friend,
I love
and
fun
listeners.
Facts. If you don't know who I am, I love fun facts.
So there was a team last year that made it to the Dynasty Bowl.
Okay.
And then there were the Hong Kong Cavaliers who also made it. Of those two teams, why are you laughing? Of those two teams, guess who their second round pick was without looking it up.
Wow. Wait, am I guessing Whiffins or am I guessing you?
Both.
Okay.
So of the two teams that made it to the Dynasty Championship, who were their second round picks?
I believe you picked Julio.
Okay, and Matt?
And Whiffen, he kept Martin.
3,
Brandon
2.
Marshall.
Okay. I think he was a third round pick, so good guess. Julio was my second round pick the year before, so good guess. I had no second round pick last year.
Oh, yeah.
Matt drafted Trent Richardson in the second round.
Bro, so Andy Caddy had Doug Martin as his keeper.
Yes, he
got
did.
hurt.
So,
how did you do it, you wizard?
Peyton Manning. But let's go ahead and... So I just wanted to give you guys the importance of what we're about to do here. Which may be none. Anywho, round 2. First round keepers. Round 2, pick number 13.
I had a lot of picks in this round.
First pick in the draft. Bubba Gump Shrimp, Coach Bubba Palucha, sitting to my left right now. Obviously, he's not going to tell us shit. Wait a minute. You already told us who you're going to pick.
I hope you wrote it down in permanent marker.
You fucking awesome bastard. On the Keeper Selection Show, he informed us that he is going to take Megatron, Calvin Johnson for the first pick in the draft. He is keeping Adrian Peterson. Has this changed Bubba?
Nah, not even a little bit.
Would you consider drafting Calvin second just to fuck with this mock draft?
Ooh. I don't know, Phil. What do you got? What are the odds? Or what's the betting? Actually, we need to talk to the odds makers, and then we'll talk to Phil.
Okay.
See what the line is.
Okay.
Of how many we get right, because then I could either bet against myself.
Right.
I can Pete Rose.
There's a lot of Pete Rose possibilities, which Phil will need to address, I think, in his whenever he informs us of what's happening here. But I'm going to assume you're going to stick with Calvin. Plus, I think the importance of us getting this mock draft as correct as possible to you is as important as to me.
It's true.
And we want to do good here.
Well. We want to do well.
We want to do well here.
English major.
Yes, thank you, assumption.
Minor.
Pick number 14. The second pick of the second draft. Bubblegum Shrimp.
Oh, look at that.
You son of a bitch. You
How did that
obtained
happen?
this from Soul Glow last year.
Yes.
I believe some sort of draft day.
I think it was. I traded my third round.
Who cares? It doesn't matter. You're keeping Adrian Peterson.
Yes.
You're drafting Calvin Johnson.
Yes.
And now you're sitting
I have
here.
no idea.
Is this true?
I've gone back.
You have to have an idea.
I've gone back and forth, probably 73 times on a few players.
Okay.
So
all right.
I guess when I say I have no idea, I wish like it was Calvin. Like I knew I was taking Calvin.
Sure.
I don't know one thing.
Do you think you're gonna have it locked down by draft day, or do you think you're really gonna wait until you are standing up there with that CBS Sports marker in your hand at the draft board and whatever your gut tells you is what you're gonna do?
It could literally change as I'm walking up to the board.
Okay.
I wish I had a better answer for you.
I'm gonna tell you who I think you're looking at.
Okay.
I think you're looking at.
I'm looking at you right now.
Right. Not literally, but
Here's looking at you, kid.
Monte Ball, I
Okay.
think you're looking at. I've overheard you made a statement.
Oh, yeah.
A few months ago about him.
That was like the 13th time that I switched.
Sure. DeMarco Murray, I think. Now that it's out there that obviously Soul Glow is not keeping him, I think DeMarco is up there as a possibility for you.
Yep.
And then I think you're also looking at probably the next receiver on the board who it's debatable who that is, but I'm going to say maybe Demaryius Thomas is up there.
He's a good one.
Now, you could go, considering you're taking Calvin, you could go receiver here, and then you have a pick again, 2 picks from now, and you could go another. You could have, 3 of the top, basically 3 or 4 receivers, along with Adrian.
Yeah.
I think you're going to go running back here.
Okay.
I think you're going to go receiver in your next pick, which we'll get to. And I think you're going to go Monte Ball.
Okay.
You don't know this yet. And even if you did, you wouldn't tell us. Or maybe you would, I don't know. But anyway, I think you're going to go Monte Ball. I think,
Can I give you a hint?
Yes.
He's one of the
few that you're looking at.
Correct.
Right.
He is.
Yeah. And, rightfully so. So, that's my pick. That's who I'm going to go with you for that second pick in the second round.
I don't mind it. Okay.
Okay, great. Third pick.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you.
Yes.
These 4 picks of mine in this round, whoever you tell me to take, that's who I'm taking.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to keep that in mind for the next pick.
I really like Seattle's defense this year.
Who do you think will be the first team to draft the defense? Well, maybe that's a question for the odds makers.
Honestly, I'm going to say Brandon because I know and Zach disagrees with me. I think he does have a lot of picks. He has a couple picks with. I don't think he has a 4th or something like that, but he has a couple
lot,
multiples.
6th through 9th round.
He has
picks.
3 in the 9th. So I think at that point, he'll take a defense first.
Yeah, I can see that. I think Chris actually has a lot too in the mid round. So
he sucks.
Okay, pick number 15 of the second round. Third pick of the second round is Brutal Deluxe. Coach Brandon McDowell, coming off one of the worst seasons ever. He is going to be paying for the pizza, half of it at least.
Hell yeah.
So thank you for that, Brandon.
Hell yeah.
Let's keep it Jamal Charles.
Yep.
Great keeper player, obviously. There are rumors out there, if you all watch the Keeper Show, Matt kind of made an implication that he's training Peyton Manning on draft day.
Yes.
So I have narrowed down the field to 3 people that I think he could be trading to. Bob, let me know what you think. I think it could be Brandon, I think it could be Ben, and I think it could be Jay Young. I don't think it's going to be you.
Why? I'm so upset about not getting Drew Brees that
I think it's because this trade already happened a while ago, and you thought you already had Brees.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. Yeah, it wasn't me.
See how the Riverdale Gazette inside reporting staff works?
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
Fucking good.
I didn't think you were that good. That was pretty good.
I'm good. So you tell me, Bob. What are you thinking here? It could. We don't know if he's going to be the guy to get Peyton or not.
Well,
so.
if he does get Peyton, I would have to think he would love to pair him up with Demaryius.
I would agree.
and then you still have Murray sitting there. I'm pegging him at Demarius.
Okay. I know that Brandon is a running back guy, or at least that's what he claims he is, and his actions via his coaching decisions throughout the past few seasons have kind of, proven that. So, assuming again Ball's gone, like you said, you got DeMarco there, you got guys like Gio and Le'Veon Bell and Alfred Morris, but you also got Demaryius Thomas there. If he's taken Peyton, I think he'd also want to team him up there. Sounds like you're leaning towards Demaryius Thomas.
That
to be honest, I'm actually leaning a little bit more towards like one of the running backs, but I don't know who. So to maybe make it easier, maybe we should go with Thomas. What do you think? I want to give you some of the picks here because you have so many in this round.
No, I know, but now you said he's a running back kind of guy.
Well, do you agree? I think he is.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He usually likes to have 3 solid tailbacks.
Then if that's the case, then I think Murray's the best running back on the board.
Okay. You think he'd pass up Demarius and go with Murray?
The only other thing is he doesn't have a pick, I don't think, in the 3rd round. So does he?
Sorry.
So, let's go Murray because he can get a couple receivers in that 4th, 5th round. He's not going to get really starting running backs in that.
Okay.
Good starting running backs anyway.
Okay. All right.
He already has one in Charles.
DeMarco Murray for Brew of the Deluxe. Next pick. Hey, look at there.
Look
Bubblegum
at that.
Shrimp.
Look at that.
Pick number 16, 4th pick in the 2nd round. Bubblegum Shrimp. This is a pick you got from Handy Quacks. We have you already having Adrian Peterson, Calvin Johnson, and Monte Ball.
Yes.
Pretty good starter there.
Yeah, not bad.
So, shit, son of a whore. All right. What do I think's going to happen here? Well,
Good question.
I think you're definitely going receiver.
Okay.
Because you would have Monte Ball and Adrian, and also Calvin. I think you're going to get another ridiculously awesome receiver here. Obviously, I think Demaryius Thomas is a possibility. Who else? Possibly Des Bryant. I've been hearing a lot of great things about him. But I think that you would go Demaryius Thomas here. I think he's probably the next best receiver on your board, personally. So I'm going to go with that. Demaryius Thomas.
My only thing with that, you can write it down, but I'll throw it out there for the fans.
Sure.
If I get Ball, do I want Thomas?
Good question. Do you?
Oh, you do you?
I
don't know!
I think that wouldn't stop you. I think that may stop you from taking another guy, like another guy later on in the draft, Deion Sanders or Julius Thomas or whoever. But I think having 2 really good players.
They're both great players.
Is fine.
So is that what I'm gonna do?
I'm gonna say you're taking Demaryius.
Okay, there it is.
All right. Okay. Next pick number 17, 5th pick in the 2nd round. I'm spittling all over the bub, but I'm very excited and horny right now. VIP on Swole. The Bastards are going to keep Drew Brees, as we talked about earlier. Bub,
he has to go running back.
You think? No.
He has to.
Why? Why does he?
Because he's keeping a quarterback.
So
you have
go running. Receiver.
I don't think
so.
All
right. So
he doesn't have another pick until like 15 picks later.
What do you mean? He doesn't have a pick in the 3rd round?
No, he does,
but
it's
later on?
Okay. It's an extra 15 after this pick. So if he goes receiver here, his starting running back is going to be Bishop Sankey. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not that bad, but
right. Okay.
Sorry, Phil. I think he has to go running back.
Okay, so with that said, I'm okay with that. And I believe he went running back last year. I want to say he took Chris Johnson last year in the 2nd round.
That might be right.
I think that's right. Who do we got? I mean, we're looking at Gio. We're looking at Le'Veon Bell, Alfred Morris, Stacey
Morris.
So probably one of those guys.
Your guess is as good as mine. You can flip a 4-sided coin.
That doesn't exist, but if it did, it would land. I'm going to say on Gio. I'm going to say on Gio Bernard. That's what I'm going to say. What do you agree?
I said, 4-sided coin.
Gio Bernard. Bernard. I had him last year, but
yeah.
Next pick number 18 in the 2nd round is Handy Quacks. He obtained this from Mr. John Costanza in that Buy It Now feature he had last year, which is very clever.
for. Well, who was the trade for?
God. Was it Foster and Seattle's defense?
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
All right.
Very good.
All right.
Who's now Johnny's keeper.
Look at that.
Look at it, full circle.
Johnny, probably a good trade for him too then, maybe.
Yeah, Foster,
Foster does good.
His spine doesn't fall out of his back.
Like Mortal Kombat style.
Come over, finish him.
All right, so he is keeping Eddie Lacy.
Yes.
Very good, solid keeper, top 5, 6. Pick in the draft, running back, Green Bay Packers. A little on the pudgy side, but that's okay. You probably know inside information on this, Bob.
Yeah, I would prefer to plead the fifth. Is that the right one?
You are going to plead the fifth, straight out of the movie called The Client, starring Susan Sarandon, which I'm guessing you haven't seen since you have a horrific movie watching
Who's Susan Sarandon?
resume. Exactly.
I'm kidding. I know she is.
So
Tim Robbins.
I feel confident about this.
Okay.
I feel I may know some inside information too, Bob.
Oh,
I'm not
really?
even going to say anything else other than that. But I'm going to say he's going Des Bryant.
Okay.
I'm saying he's going receiver, and I'm saying he's going Des Bryant. That's what I'm saying. Written down in pen. Next pick! Pick number 19. 7th pick of the second round, the Boston Loggers. He is one of the few who we pegged as a possibility in obtaining Mr. Peyton Manning.
Yes.
If Brandon or Jay Young hasn't. Although we could be completely wrong, and it could be one of these other teams that we didn't even think of.
Maybe Whiffin's trading him to himself.
Probably that makes no sense. Let's stick to the facts here.
Okay, sorry.
Keeper player, Marshawn Lynch. Looking a little bit better than it was a few weeks ago.
Yep, looking good.
Last year, he kept A.J. Green.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I apologize to the public. He
drafted.
drafted A.J. Green. So if that's of any indication as to the type of drafting maybe Benjamin enjoys, maybe that means he's going to take a receiver here. What do you think, Bubba?
Yeah, I think...
You're giving us shit here. I want some information.
I think receiver.
You think receiver?
I think receiver. I think at this point... Go for it.
Sorry, I asked you to speak and then I...
No, that's okay.
But I thought of something.
Sure.
Could you see him taking Gronk here? I could. I could see Ben wanting Gronk here.
I can't see it.
You can't see it.
It very well could happen. I can't see it.
Okay. You're still feeling receiver.
I still feel receiver at this point. I think it's between A.J. Green and Brandon Marshall.
A.J. Green and Brandon Marshall and maybe Julio?
Oh, I keep forgetting about Julio Jones.
Don't forget about... We
That's
had Julio
silly,
Jones' high school coach
Yeah.
on this very podcast a few seasons
I
ago.
keep forgetting about Julio Jones.
Todd Watson.
And they're saying Julio was having a great preseason.
Right.
I don't think he's going to take AJ.
Okay.
I know he took him last year. Not that he burned him, but didn't have a good season.
Right.
Ben didn't have a good season.
Right.
So I think Julio is probably a good pick.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Julio Jones
JJ.
going to Boston. Joining the Loggers. This is going great so far. I'm feeling good about this, Bob.
Yeah, me too.
I'm feeling really good about this.
Me too.
Pick number 20, 8th pick in the second round.
Tell me who I'm taking.
Oh, it's the Bubblegum Shrimp.
Tell me who I'm taking.
Oh, really annoying at this juncture. Well, Bob, I don't know who the frig you're taking. All right, well, I'll tell you what, Bob. You may not like this, but I think I know what quarterback you want, and I don't think you're going to take him here. I think you want Matthew Stafford, and I think you're targeting taking him pick number 48 in the 4th round. So, people, if you want Matthew Stafford...
48?
If you want Matthew Stafford, you're going to need to take him before the last pick of the 4th round.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think Matthew Stafford's going to last till 48.
You don't?
No.
Do you think he would be the next... or the first quarterback drafted?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
But you don't think he'll last that long?
I don't think so. I think someone's going to jump on him. He's got a lot of hype this year.
Give me an estimate as to where you think he will be drafted.
I think he's going to go in the 3rd round.
Tell me who.
I can't give a name.
You're not going to give a name, are you?
I think he's going to go in
the 3rd round. Fair enough. Bubblegum Shrimp, you got yourself Mr. Adrian Peterson, you got Calvin, you got Monte Ball, Demaryius Thomas.
This is an all-star team? What is this?
Good Lord. So therefore you have 2 receivers and 2 running backs. I don't think you're going to go quarterback here. I don't think you're going to go tight end here. So therefore,
Defense is out.
You're not going kicker. You're not going to go... So it's either running back or receiver.
Yeah, you'd be right.
If I'm looking at the board of availability here,
That sounds like a cool thing. The board of availability.
The board of availability. I think you go in receiver.
Okay.
I think you have a pick. Do you have like one of the first picks in the third round?
I do. And I was gonna ask if we can do a little bonus. You can guess who I'm gonna pick then too.
Calm down, Bubba. First of all. Secondly, I think that
That was like the most egregious thing I could have ever said.
I think that you can get a really good running back with the first pick in the third round.
Okay.
You can do the same at receiver, but I don't know why. I'm gonna say you're looking at an AJ Green and a Brandon Marshall here, and I'm gonna go AJ Green for you.
Two great receivers.
Yeah, very good receivers. For some reason,
I like my team so far.
I like your team too. I don't know how you can get out of this draft, honestly, not liking your team. It's gonna look. Let's all face it, everyone listening. Bubba's team, when the draft is over, is going to look completely, ridiculously, unbeatably unstoppable. It's gonna look like a fucking juggernaut.
That's me knocking on wood.
It's gonna look incredible, and I'm sure it's
Shut up.
I'm sure it's gonna
Stop.
pan out wonderfully
Stop.
for you. So AJ Green, we'll go with that.
Okay.
All right. Next pick number 21, the 9th pick in the second round. One of our favorite coaches in the league, Coach Phil Quinton Tamulus. I don't think that's his middle name.
I love Phil.
You guys made up during the keeper selection
Yep.
show. We'll see if that lasts. I'm gonna say no. He kept Jimmy Graham, first tight end ever taken, or kept, I should say. Last year, he kept David Wilson in the second round.
He drafted David Wilson.
Sorry.
You keep getting
I'm
those wrong.
sorry.
Who did he keep last year? Oh, Dez,
He
right?
kept Dez, and he drafted David Wilson at the end of the second round. I have an opinion about this, Bob.
Sure. I do too.
So, who would you guess is this year's version of David Wilson?
Andre Allen.
That's exactly what I would say. I think it's a little bit of a stretch taking him here.
I don't think it's as big.
But
It is a
if you-
slight stretch. I
And
don't
Phil,
think it's huge.
Phil has his own draft board, kind of like Belichick. Like if he likes a guy, he will take him before maybe he's quote unquote supposed to, because that's his number one player or whatever. And I respect that. And I think Andre Ellington is. Where is Phil drafting in the third round?
Basically the same spot he is in this round.
Which means it's kind of early in the third round, right? Or no?
I lied to you. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the. I was looking on the wrong one. It's 4th in the third round.
4th in the third
So
round.
he potentially
could get him
He
there.
could.
He could get him there. So he may, if he takes a little risk and maybe goes to somebody else, and maybe he wants Ellington.
I still think he's gonna take Ellington.
I do too. Andre Ellington. Mark it down in pen, blue specifically, pen ink.
The pen is blue.
Pick number 22, the 10th pick in the second round, the Yellow Peril, Coach Jae Young Kim, coming off a very good season last year, but he completely, he just fucked up in the first round of the playoffs. He's another guy who may be getting Peyton. We don't know. He's keeping Shady McCoy. Last year, he drafted Steven Jackson, a running back in the second round. But again, maybe that's an indication of what he likes to do in the second round. Maybe taking a running back.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm thinking receiver.
Really?
Yeah.
I was leaning running back. And I'm actually feeling a little strong about it. But no, Bub.
You're getting that feeling.
Bub, fight for your
rights to party.
Party.
I want to rock and roll all night
Long.
and party every day.
Hey.
You're right, but who are you thinking?
I was thinking
Hit me with some knowledge.
either Le'Veon Bell or Alfred Morris.
I don't think anyone's gonna take Le'Veon Bell. I think he's gonna go undrafted.
You don't like Le'Veon Bell, huh?
I did a week ago.
Is he gonna call it pot? He's not getting suspended at least until midseason. He does probably a game or two. I mean,
I think they said he's not getting suspended.
so there you go.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Okay.
Gary smokes a lot. Is getting some carries.
Like Ep1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the other guy. I was thinking Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall over. What else do we got? Receivers.
I think he's probably the next best receiver. I think.
Good. Jordy Nelson, Antonio Brown, Alshon Jeffrey. Yeah. Brandon Marshall.
But
Brandon Marshall fell last year in the third round.
How strong are you? And I don't know why. He's a solid player.
Yeah.
How strong are you feeling? Give me an odds maker percent.
Well, I'm not an odds maker, but
I know. But
if I were to play one,
put your odds maker hat on.
I would give it about a 65% chance running back, 34% running back, 1% chance that he falls asleep.
You wouldn't be able to tell though.
High, because he was extremely high. And yes, you wouldn't be able to tell. You're correct. That was horrible. By the way, we are 23 minutes into the segment.
That's okay. That's okay because we're having.
We're trying
a
to
good time.
short down the show.
Okay,
it's hard.
Shot out of a cannon. Who you taking? Go. Jay Young. Who you taking? Go.
Le'Veon Bell.
Okay.
Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
All right. You sure?
Shot out of a cannon.
All right. Well, I want you to. All right. You have to pick the next one because it's
Okay.
me. So Le'Veon Bell, Jay Young, pick number 23, the 11th pick in the second round. This is a team coached by a person. He kept Aaron Rodgers. Bob, tell the people first of all who this team is.
This is the Scoopers.
Coached by
Coach Eric Costanza
from
Riverdale.
And take it away. I'm zippering my mouth.
This is a tough one. You're keeping Rodgers. I feel like you almost have to go running back, but maybe you want to pair Rodgers with Jordy Nelson. I think you have to go running back. And I guess if we're looking at the Morris or Stacy, I don't know. Let me get a good look at you. I think you look more like Zach Stacy. So,
I look like more. Yes.
You look more like Zach Stacy. You're bald, basically. That's the only reason.
Okay.
And if you just hunch up your shoulders.
Should I take my shirt off?
No, just like shrug, like, yeah. Oh my. I think I'm with Zach Stacy right now. I'm gonna go with Zach Stacy. I don't love the pick, but
okay. Yeah.
Zach
All right, Zach Stacy it is to the team that you mentioned earlier. Pick number 24, the 12th pick in the second round, Soul Glow. He obtained this pick by trading Peyton Manning last year, and he is keeping, controversially, Tom Brady, but I give a tip of the hat to his balls of doing so.
Yeah. Brady comes out and throws 40 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's going to look great. And he drafted Peyton Manning in the second round last year, and some people thought, yeah, it's a little high, and look what happened.
Yeah.
So, let's see. This is the last pick here that we're mocking, possibly. We got Alfred Morris still on the board. We got Matthew Stafford, who that makes no sense since he's keeping Brady. That was ridiculous. What a waste of time.
That's silly.
We got Jordy Nelson, Antonio Brown, Alshon Jeffrey. We got Gronk. There it is.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. I've actually thought about this before as well.
Gronk.
Little pair, little team.
Little teammate. I mean, let's face it. If Brian is so high on Brady, which obviously he is, it's for him to keep him when he's kind of being mocked like a lot later.
Yep.
He must think that obviously Gronk is going to be fine and he's going to be, great this year, right? So
I want to team him up.
I'm going to go with Gronk. Okay. Are you feeling it?
I'm okay with that.
Gronk it is.
Bold move.
Now, before I recap what we feel to be the second round, Bub, you had considering we're 26 minutes and 48 seconds
real
into
quick,
this segment.
I happen to have the next pick, first pick in the third round. Who do you think I would take? Just out of curiosity, because I need to know, because I don't know who I'm going to take.
I would guess either Alfred Morris or Jordy Nelson.
Okay.
And I'm not picking between the two, because you don't deserve it, because we don't mock the third round, Bubba.
Sorry.
But I appreciate your effort here.
Thanks.
So, really quick recap. Bubba Gump Shrimp, Calvin Johnson. Bubba Gump Shrimp, Monte Ball. Brutal Deluxe, DeMarco Murray. Bubba Gump Shrimp, Demarius Thomas. VIP, Gianard Varney Bernard. Andy Quacks, Des Bryant. Boston Lagers, Julio Jones. Bubba Gump Shrimp, AJ Green. Pig Newtons, Andre Ellington. Yellow Peril, Le'Veon Bell.
The Scoopers, Zach Stacy.
And Soul Glow, Rob Gronkowski. We will see what happens. All it takes is one fucking domino to fuck up the whole damn thing. But I feel good about it, Bob.
I feel mediocre.
You feel mediocre. Okay. Are we the only ones that are super excited for the draft? Or are we like... I have a feeling everybody is, but I don't know. I
tweeted this the other day that the draft is one of my top 5 favorite days of the year.
Not top 3?
Give it top 5.
Top 5's pretty good. I mean, you obviously get Groundhog Day. That's number 1.
Arbor Day.
You got the day that you...
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day. And then the random fourth day that you like have a lot of sex, right?
I was gonna say the Monday after Thanksgiving because I'd love to go back to work after the Thanksgiving break.
Bubba, you are a horse of a different color. Let me tell you that much right now here. But let's go ahead. I was thinking maybe, Bubba, we can maybe randomly call one of the Dynasty coaches, maybe other than Zach and Chris, since we'll be talking to them later in the show, and just ask them if they're excited about the draft. Okay. I have the Dynasty spreadsheet up right now, as you can see.
I see it.
I would like you to shut your eyes and just point, and that's who we're going to call. Shut your eyes, Bubba.
Ready?
Good. And there it is. Good job, Bub. Brandon McDowell.
Now it is time. Fucking right, it's time. So grab your balls and let's go. Coaches interview. Here we fucking go.
Brandon McDowell, this is Bobo Palucha. I'm just curious, how excited are you for draft day next Sunday?
I'm pretty excited, man.
And there it is.
He sounds
There it
very
is.
excited.
Very excited. So I think he pretty much sums up the rest of the league, I would think, right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into our next segment, Bub. First segment ever in doing this. Time doing this, I should say.
Oh, yes.
The Dynasty Odds Makers, Chris and Zach, let's get them on the line. Let's do it.
Years of sports gambling experience has led these two geniuses to become the Dynasty Odds Makers.
All right, Bob. So now here on the Harborough Auto Interactive Hotline, love them or hate them, we got the Dynasty Odds Makers, coaches Zach Palucha and Chris Heaney. Now, guys, this segment of the show will be typically used to discuss odds, predictions, over-unders, things like that, pertaining to what's going on in the league and everything. But before we get into that, everyone's very super-duper excited about these videos that everyone's hearing about, that you guys apparently are going to be releasing every Sunday morning. What do you think these odds maker videos are going to add to the league, guys?
I think they're going to be a little bit of a wild card. There's going to be probably some alcohol involved, so I'm sure they'll be very entertaining. Yeah, they're going to be wild. Stay tuned.
Will there be nudity at all in any way? That's kind of what the people are wondering.
Absolutely. I can't promise that I will have clothes on. I can't promise you that.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Bub and I think that there's a great opportunity here for the odds makers in general to.
I'm gonna live it live. It's gonna be great.
You're gonna be there live, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. One of those things that we're trying out, and maybe it will suck.
Throwing shit against the wall, seeing if it sticks.
There it is.
Something like that.
There it is. So we have a bunch of odds types of questions we'd like to ask you bastards about. You guys are the odds makers. You guys have years and decades worth of betting and gambling experience. You've both probably lost many money. A lot of money.
Hey, let's
probably,
do the money.
Probably won a lot of money too. You both are champions here in this league. So we're going to start with the draft, and we're going to ask you a few questions. So my first question for you guys are, what is the percent chances that Coach Matt Whiffen trades his third-round pick this season?
Let's go Zach first, and then Heaney. Just
Good.
Keep it structured.
Good, Bubba.
I'm going to say there is a 100% chance that he trades that pick. I don't think there's any, even if he doesn't go into it thinking he's going to trade it, there's no way that someone doesn't make an offer for it, and at this point for him, there's really no reason to pick anybody, so.
Now, Bub, this is a new segment for us. Should we, say if we agree and talk about it, or do we just move on?
We'll let them both talk, and then if we have something to say, we can, and if not, we'll just move right on.
Thank you, Bubba.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to say 97% chance, leaving 3% open just in case Whiffen is passed out drunk by the time this pick comes up.
It's possible. It's certainly possible. Last year we saw a 5-hour energy get traded for a pick. What are the odds that a pick gets traded for an item again this year?
Chris?
Who are you going for?
No, I think we're just gonna go Zach, Chris the whole way.
Oh,
I think
okay.
Keep it structured.
Okay.
You want me to go again?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Zach,
Sorry. I will put that at 85%, seeing as I was the one that made that trade last year, and I'm pretty sure I'll probably do it again this year.
Pete Rose.
Yeah.
Heaney?
Yeah, I agree. It's 100% chance it's going to happen. I'm probably going to be done drafting on the 12th-ish round, so I'll be willing to deal any items, anything at that point.
So, Chris was the favorite to get nerfed here this season. What is the over-under for total nerfings in this draft?
I would say the over-under, I'm going to set it at 4.5, and I would take the over. I just think with all these colorful names now that we have coming into the league, there's going to be a lot of spelling mistakes, and the more beers that people have, I think the weirder things get. So, although I heard a rumor that Stephen Ridley might get cut, so I don't think anybody has to worry about spelling his friggin' name wrong this year.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I'm gonna say 6.5. Yeah, basically the same points he's making. I just think there's gonna be lots of alcohol involved, and let's be honest, I'm good for at least 2 nerfs myself. So factor those in.
Please set the over-under as far as rounds go for when Josh Gordon gets drafted, assuming he is not out for the entire year.
I would say I would put the over-under in our league at round 7.
Ooh.
And that's only that low because I think someone like you, Bubba, has a lot of picks. At that point, you're going to be taking flyers, and just knowing how good he can be, I think that would be something that, at that point, traditionally him with your picks left. So.
That Coach Zach Ploger thinks of everything. He's a smart guy.
He does what he does.
Chris?
I'd like to answer first because I feel like he's taking my answers. So,
Oh, yeah, we can switch it up.
it's hard to disagree with that. I mean, it's good logic.
All right, we'll switch it up this question. Chris, you can go first after this one.
Thank you.
Was Josh Gordon the number 1 receiver last year?
I believe he
was, yes.
I think
Better than Calvin?
Demarius
He was,
was.
I think Josh Gordon...
yeah, Josh Gordon was the number 1 fantasy receiver, and I missed 2 games.
Okay, and Jamal Charles was number 1 for running backs, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Anywho, which coach is the favorite to have the best jersey here in this draft?
I'd say right now it's a toss-up between Will and Jay Young, but I'm leaning towards probably Jay Young. I mean, if he brings anything out of a deceased player, it's hard to argue with that. Rest in peace, Sean Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a couple coaches that wear jerseys, so it's not that easy of a question, I guess. But, I mean, Barrett, you usually wear your keeper player, and who's up this year? That's Aaron Rodgers, so that's really, that's just blast. Jay Young's probably the only wild card here that brings the weird jersey to the table, so.
I'd like to
I think you should have to wear the Sean Taylor jersey every year.
Yeah, I'd like to make a bold prediction, and I don't have any knowledge on this. If, or maybe not a prediction, but more of like a suggestion. If Jay Young wears a throwback powder blue San Diego Charger Junior Seau jersey, that may be jersey of the fucking era, or whatever.
Rest in peace.
Is it going to have bloodstains on it?
Oh,
Too soon.
Too soon.
So we're going to ask a couple more questions here regarding the season now versus the draft. And Chris, why don't you go first? What are the percent chances of everyone in the league attending the midseason hangout this year?
Ooh, yeah, that's tough. I'm going to have to say about 78%. And only because I don't think it's happened since I've been in the league.
It hasn't. It's never happened.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
I'm going to bump it up a little bit. I think we got a 90% chance this year. I mean, there's always a chance Will flake out with his 6 kids, or Brian will decide not to show up, or who knows. But I think everybody's going to man up this year and show up.
Ooh, it is a fun,
very fun.
Fun day.
Yeah. Top 10, Bob?
Ooh, I don't know.
Top 15.
Disregarding
15. Damn it.
Whiffen and Will, who do you think is the favorite to sell first this year?
Am I up first, Bill?
Yeah, sure. You can go first.
Disregarding Whiffen and Will.
That means you can't pick them.
I'd have to say Johnny C then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think he has a lot of picks. I think he's already starting to gear up for next year. So I guess he's the favorite.
Zach?
If I had to pick it, I'll pick a different manager, and I'm going with Brian. This is just the most horrendous keeper I've ever seen in my life. So you don't start your team with the best quarterback in fantasy, go right ahead. But doesn't have a ton of picks. Terrible keeper. He has no shot.
There it is.
Okay.
There it is. My final question for you fellas is, Bubba, please, the script here. What are the odds as to who will be the last team to not win a championship? This is more of a, not just this season, but for
Oh, really? Chris?
All right, sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Yes. Who was going to be the last team to not win a title in the Dynasty?
So, no, time
Who
out.
already hasn't won one?
Who's going to be the last team to win a title is the question.
Sure, yeah.
Correct. Okay, I follow it. I'm just gonna go Bubba Palucha.
Oh, you goddamn douchebag.
Oh.
I did it. I said it. I feel better about it. It's out there.
Zach.
I would say I really haven't seen enough out of Ben yet to make a determination on his skills. So I guess I'll go with Ben.
How did no one say Will?
I'm surprised. Although, maybe it's because he...
Will was a great manager. You shut your mouth.
Great year last year, kind of. All right. Well, I thought this went great. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm looking forward to your odds makers videos and things that will be going on this year. Hopefully we'll have you on again at some point during the season and go through some more shit here that we did today. Hopefully some of this shit can maybe possibly even be literally betted and gambled on, and if you with Phil's possible thing that he's doing well.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you again, and we'll see you at the draft.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, guys. Hang on real quick. I got one.
We interrupt this broadcast to remind you that you can get all of the latest Dynasty updates by following the Riverdale Gazette on Twitter. The Riverdale Gazette Twitter page. Don't be left behind.
So, Bo, how do you think our first show went? Went off to a great start?
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. I had a pretty good time. It was pretty good.
Good. So, I don't know if you remember, but at the mid-season hangout, I made a life-sized head of Brian Tavolieri.
Yes, I like that a lot.
Some people did things
I cut a hole in the mouth
to it that we're not going to discuss here. But I just want to let everybody know, and Bub, you made a reference to this last year. If anybody out there, anybody at all, in the Dynasty or not, would like a life-size head of anyone, you can bring it to the draft or do whatever you want to it. Just let me know. Well, of course, we have the draft this Sunday, followed by the post-draft party back at my place, of course. Next week, we are going to have a show, Bob. Next week.
Okay.
It's going to be the draft analysis edition.
Yes.
Classic.
Yep.
Classic.
Good one.
We're going to have a bit of a different flavor here for that. We're going to have the show will be co-hosted by Jae Young Kim. I'm smiling. Can I get read?
Different flavor? No, that's what kind of flavor?
Jeff, no problem. Well, with Jae Young Kim.
So it's on.
Shit. Jae Young Kim is going to co-host next year. I'm excited about it. And we're going to have the CBS fantasy guru, friend of the show, Dave Richard.
Dave Richard is a close personal friend of mine.
A fucking saint.
I've had full-blown Twitter conversations with him.
I would have sweet, sweet love with that man.
But don't be a douchebag and be late to the draft. Be at the clubhouse for 3 o'clock. BYOB as always, and that does not stand for bring your own bread.
Bubba, do you have any lingering questions at all about the draft day, post-draft party, the season, my sexual orientation?
Yeah, when is the draft?
Oh my god. That's right, so Bub, we're gonna see you all at the draft. Good luck, everyone. Till next time, this is Commissioner Scooper.
And this is Buffalo over and out. This episode of the Dynasty Podcast was brought to you by Harborough Auto. And if you enjoyed this show, please show your support by clicking on the like option of this show posted on the Dynasty Facebook page.